trauma, y'all.
I am on a mission. My mission is to empower young women to bring healing and transformation. My name is Maureen. I'm a therapist who deals with trauma healing. I'm so excited to go on this journey with you. All through life, we go through difficult circumstances, sometimes traumatic circumstances, and it's very important to seek healing about our trauma. And so that's the journey we want to begin, a journey that paves way for fulfilling relationships, a journey that paves way for meaningful and healthy relationships, and a journey that brings wholeness, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, wholeness in every way for the young woman. And so I invite you to join me on this journey because it's going to be an exciting journey. Your voice matters. Your story matters. Your story and your voice are very important in this journey. You know why? Because when you begin to share our story, we begin to find healing. When you begin to share our story, we encourage other people to share their story, to find healing in their problems. I don't know if you've ever watched a story and thought, wow, Msana Pitia, exactly what I went through. It's because the power of sharing our story, the power of telling a friend, the power of sharing that story brings so much healing and transformation among the community of women that you'll be working with. And so I want to encourage you that when you feel that you have a story you want to share, please reach out to us. Please reach out to us on heytullier@gmail.com. We want to hear your story because when you share your story, we create a space where healing flourishes. We create a space where empowerment is thriving. We create a community of women that are holding each other up through the ups and the downs. There's some people who are going through the exact thing that you've been through, and many times the trials you've been through have not been about you, have been about you helping someone else through that trial. They need to hear your story and how you navigated, how God held you up, how you were able to navigate that very difficult time. And so share your story, lift up your voice and say the things that God has called you, because this journey is not just about you. Your trials have never always just been about you. They've been about so many people in the community of God. So we want to encourage you to share your story. Would you reach out to us on heytullier@gmail.com, and we'll be so glad to have you on set. Here at Tullier, we are passionate about trauma conversations, relationships conversations, and how to navigate those two very essential parts. And so here's a little snippet about what we'll be talking about, what we'll be going through, so that you can prepare your heart. But also I want to hear from you. What do you think we should talk about? What are some of the things that top of your mind comes? So here's our list. We're going to talk about coping mechanisms, and we're going to discuss what are the healthy ways of dealing with trauma, what are some creative outlets we can use to deal with our trauma. We're also going to talk about interpersonal relationships, and this means from how to navigate relationships, boundaries, triggers, how to see the red flags, or as a friend of mine likes to say, the big red duvets that we assume that are pink. We're going to talk about how to navigate communication and triggers and how to build healthy relationships. We're also going to talk about a very important part of taking care of yourself, that's self-compassion. We often overlook self-compassion, and many times we talk about self-care as if it's just a physical pampering of sorts, but self-care is deeper than that, and we're going to delve deeper into that. We're also going to talk about cultural and intergenerational trauma, because the truth of the matter is that we have inherited a trauma or another from our parents. And so it's very important to go deep into those things and ask ourselves, what are the things that are manifesting in my family, with my situations that I caught from whose grandpa back where, things that have been passed down through generations. And we're going to discuss ways to break the cycle of intergenerational trauma and now build a cycle of wellness and wholeness in our families. We're going to talk about healing modalities, because what does healing even look like? I hear people say all the time, whatever heal, but what does healing look like? The modalities of that and how it looks like for you and for me will be different, but breaking down that in terms of effectiveness of treating and handling trauma. We're also going to talk about resilience and post-traumatic growth. What that means is that how do as individuals find meaning and purpose after trauma? Because many times we've grown up with our trauma so much, we're so used to it that it forms part of our identity. But what happens when you let go of that trauma, when you heal from it? How do you move on with life, knowing that now I'm healed, I don't have to hold on to that trauma? To be honest, many of our relationships, even home family relationships, have been built around trauma. So when you let it go, how do you navigate? So that's what I'm talking about, post-traumatic resilience and growth. We're also going to talk about how to take care of yourself in terms of trauma-informed care. How do you take care of yourself? What are the things that you are able to say, this comes from my trauma, I need to deal with it? How often do you go for therapy? What do you do when you're in therapy? Those conversations. We're going to definitely talk about boundaries, how to set your boundaries, set expectations, enforce your boundaries, and navigate even people who don't care for boundaries, because family kwanza, siblings kwanza na boundaries, it's almost like an unheard of term in Africa. And finally, we're going to talk about healing through creativity. What are the avenues of creativity that we can use to heal? Expressions like painting and dancing and worship and all of these different expressions. Now, everything will not be for you. You are not a sponge to absorb everything. But whatever works for you, you take that and you work with it. And this is not a, stamp for, this is, you can heal your trauma by doing all these 10, 11 things. No, this is a journey for you to discover, this works for me, this doesn't really work for me, this works for me, this doesn't work for me. All in a bid to bring such a rich and a varied landscape of our conversations, to allow you to have information, to allow you to be entertained by stories that we'll tell, because we have lots of stories, guys, but also to allow you some time to just reflect on the things that you've had. So some conversations will be hard, but I want you to know that you're not alone in this journey. We are together in this journey, and you can always reach out to us whenever you need help. We have counseling services. We'll be there for you through the journey, and that is a promise that we've made for you. And that's it for today. So walk around this Tulia street. Somewhere in this page you'll find something you like to watch. Please leave a comment for us below. My name is Maureen. Until the next time, keep moving forward.
Coffee and trauma, y'all.